Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast that you didn't know you needed. I say to my three friends looking back at me, living alone in her own little room, in her own little world. Oh, yeah.
Oh
Walking
yeah.
alone down her own little street while the city's asleep. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knows her. She's a lonely girl in a lonely world. At night, she sleeps. Say hello, Robyn.
Ooh.
Hi. Or
Say hello,
hello.
Josh.
Yo.
Brentry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trek on top of your. But when you
You're
said
stepping on my
when the
Slim
lyric
Jims.
came up, I'm like, of course I'm going to hear the Macho Man.
I went deep cut. Robyn, I know you're a big fan of the deep cuts, the old school Night Ranger. So there you go for that.
I love that song.
She may sleep, but the Macho Man never does. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So where we been? What's been going on, guys? I haven't been here in a while. Have you done anything without me? I've even noticed? Have you missed me at all?
Ratings are through the roof.
They are. They are good. That's good to know. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go shoot tennis balls with my dogs.
Mm.
See, I told you guys that he wouldn't care if we fired him.
Ah, it's all good.
Yeah.
As Freddie Mercury said, I've done my sentence but committed no crime.
Mm.
So
I got nothing. I got nothing to that.
I'm playing to a dead room here. Yeah.
We kind of got used to being without you.
So let's talk. This episode here, we're going to discuss. I gotta move my notes here. I got stuff everywhere. We're going to recap the Danny Ripepi Memorial Show on this episode, which was a blast for. I know I could speak for myself. I had a wonderful time. I'm sure you guys did. Josh, you had a good time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll fill you in on the details later.
Yeah, we'll let you know how good of a time you actually had.
We don't need details, but what we're going, I guess we're going to talk about, because there was a lot that went on. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Night Rangers show, it was a unique show, some extra pyro and some cool deep tracks, and it just really was the Fans in Motion community. I mean, it's like you showed up and it was a party of people that you knew.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to devote the whole episode to that.
Absolutely. And then so the previous episode that you guys did, and I have been gone for at least 2 episodes, but the last one you guys did was the episode where you guys were going to create or pitch three items or 3 products to Night Ranger to create. How did that go? How was it? Did you get any feedback? Did anybody
Come
tell
on,
you guys
man.
were
There's
wrong?
my internet.
Well, I think
I'm back.
Obviously Night Ranger must have listened, just because yesterday, this will kind of go right into the Night Ranger news.
Early news.
Where I had pitched vinyl, and I pitched a box set of the classic stuff, and then I think my mid price range one was the Frontiers records, Hole in the Sun, Somewhere in California, High Road, and Don't Let Up, being re-released on vinyl. And yesterday, we got the news that on Record Store Day, on Black Friday, coming up in November, Night Ranger is going to be having their first Record Store Day release with the first time ever Somewhere in California on vinyl. It's going to be Pacific Blue.
Nice.
Edged out Atlantic, and so it's going to be colored vinyl. The way I read, I think there might be some additional liner notes with an interview with Jack and Kelly. So there might be some insert that's got them going back. I mean, you got to think it's been 10 years ago since that record was released, and just to show you how, quick that classic period went. That classic period would have been been a year after Somewhere in California, and would have ended the year after High Road. So that classic era of Night Ranger, you can see just when you look back, it went really quick. So, somewhere in California is already 10 years old. So, yeah, it looks like they listened and said, you know what, we need to do a vinyl release. So,
I'm sure there's subscribers.
Well, wait till next week when there's a fucking blanket coming out.
Or the dolls, right?
Yeah. They had that vinyl's been that's. I wonder how long they've had that on the table. Well, the band probably knew nothing about it.
I would say not. I mean, it just depends on who owns those.
Yeah.
I don't know if Frontiers keeps those. I don't know, especially back in 2011, or if any of that.
Well, who is it? When you go on iTunes, it's Frontiers Records for those records. So I imagine they have the masters.
Well, I'm not saying that not the own the masters. Just I would assume. I mean, sometimes you can put in clauses, basically. After so many years, ownership reverts.
Yeah.
We're not talking.
Well, it just becomes a licensing agreement at that point.
Well, not really licensing. It's if Frontiers owns it, the Night Ranger has to license it. What I'm saying is sometimes, and I don't know, I'm not into into the business of Night Ranger, but you can put something in your contracts to where, okay, we're recording for Frontiers. You guys own the masters for 10 years. After 10 years, it reverts to the ownership returns back to Night Ranger. I don't think that happened, but it could have. It's a third-party label that's releasing it. It's
right.
M Theory or something like that, Records. So they're licensing it from somebody. And actually, Kiss, the HBO special back in the 70s, they did that. Basically, HBO paid for it. They owned it for a year, and after 1 year, ownership reversed back to Kiss, which back then no one thought that stuff would be worth anything after a year.
Yeah.
So we got the colored vinyl, and it's because of our podcast episode. I am sure of it.
Right. Yeah. Sure. So is that anything else as far as feedback on that episode?
Well,
did anybody have any other ideas that came out besides the ones you guys did?
I think a lot of people like the idea on the Frontiers one where I included a CD that had all the bonus tracks. People tended to like that idea. And then, of course, I don't have that pulled up to look. Used to be I would be able to go to the top of the page and click it, but they've changed all that now to where I can. Oh, wait. No, I just did. So let's see here. Someone said a Night Ranger nightlight, and I've seen one designed before. So I think it was on Etsy or something like that. I think I just had the picture, but someone had like the Midnight Madness logo. Had made it into a nightlight. People went to Seven Wishes concert video, Blu-ray.
Anything from Big Life?
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Vickers talks about, talking to Brad about bonus tracks or remastering the albums. And he said something about Midnight Madness Monopoly. Kevin Barrett talks about like a starter jacket or, remember like the glossy jackets, which I actually have a couple. They actually made a vest too. I have the vest. Dog tags. Robyn Luddit.
The satin vest. Yeah.
Robyn Luddit said she still wants more deep tracks.
Than that.
Darren Smith, Night Ranger logo coasters. Yes.
I get those.
I've got some from, third party. It's probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to pay for whatever they use, but who knows?
There.
Socks with designs of Dawn Patrol and Seven Wishes.
I loved that idea too.
There's a lot of ideas there.
The sweaters, was it Christmas sweaters or just regular sweaters? Because both would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I
said
would
that with the
recommend-
sock comment, I thought.
I would recommend a lunchbox. That would be awesome. I would take
Well-
it to work.
Mhm.
A little Night Ranger lunchbox.
Well, that's why I was trying to figure
Seven
out
wishes.
what the artwork was going to be. I had it all made up and ready to send to Josh, and I went, why don't I put that on a lunchbox?
Yeah.
You know.
I would love to see like a Seven Wishes lunchbox. How cool would that be?
Yeah, well, speaking of the Seven Wishes, you know, if they designed that, because I took a picture of the guitar that was up for
Yeah.
auction for the 35th anniversary, and it was a cool guitar. It's posted on the Fans of Motion Facebook page, and they basically, I won't say airbrushed, but removed, you know how on the Seven Wishes cover they're all in the plane. Well, you don't have Fitz and you don't have Jeff in the picture. They did a really good job. I mean, it's you can't tell that they were ever there. Why did they do that? I think Brent hit on it probably pretty good. Is you probably have, I mean, I know they got permission to sell the anything Seven Wishes cover wise for the record.
Yeah.
But when you start taking that and you put it on other items, that's where you get into some legal issues because
Sure.
you're using their likeness on something that's really you're not allowed. So you would have to pay them, or you'd have to go through attorneys and all that stuff, and it's just easier. Hey, airbrush them out.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
It wasn't as good as that.
yeah, so eventually when it's just me,
Wow.
when it's me and Robyn doing this, you know, I will have my guitar. It'll just be me there, you know, Robyn hanging out on the wing or something, and there'll be people.
That'd be Brent's.
There'll be, you know, Night Ranger will be doing a podcast about us, and they'll be bitching about Andy and Brent not being in the cockpit. But
Like, well, yeah, why are they not in the band anymore? What happened? And
Mhm.
Josh can do an episode of why. Where's Andy and Brent?
Just don't go to Australia.
yeah.
Don't go to Australia.
But so yeah, so you know, there was that guitar that was up for auction.
Yeah, I didn't mean to open the can of worms when I noticed it. I'm like, Jeff and Fitz aren't in that picture anymore. I mean, because I took a picture of it and I posted it. I believe I posted it, but I didn't post it separate like you did.
And I don't, you know, it's not uncommon. I mean, even the
No.
Kiss Stereo box set, they were originally going to have a Lick It Up promo poster with Vinnie Vincent. And then legally, it was some gray area where they're okay with the Lick It Up record
Yeah,
cover because that's all in the contract. Now you're getting into a promotional item that was a promotional item at the time. Now you're putting it into a set that you're selling, and you have his likeness. Plus, Vinnie Vincent likes to sue, so they basically pulled that out of the set and replaced it with something else. So,
Kiss.
but there you go.
You know, Vinny did an auction the other night, and he was selling his boots for $2,000 a pair. And so, and while people were, you know, one person bought 2 pair, but somebody asked, "What size are those boots?" He said, "They're an 8. They're an 8 in women's." And then he went, "They're a 10.5 in men's."
Meredith.
I went, "Oh, there you go.
Meredith all the way.
They're an 8 in women's. I mean, they're 10.5 in men's."
So, do we have any? Let's
Classic.
move on to Night Ranger news. Do we have anything exciting happening in the world of Night Ranger that needs to be brought up? Any hot?
Well,
Night Ranger
I don't know
news?
about the Night Ranger news, but we do have the Fans in Motion news where we are letting everybody know that this will be the last episode of Fans in Motion.
With Andy.
Well, with
My God.
with Andy, we are going to take a little bit of a break. How long? We do not know, but probably be back sometime middle to late October. Just give us time to.
2022.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Joking.
Well, what it's going to be, what's going to happen is it'll be one of those stories like, you know, they'll be interviewing you, Andy, you know, in the future, and you'll be like, Yeah, I was just on the street and someone came up to me and was like, "Why aren't you on the podcast anymore?" And like, "What do you mean?" And they started playing the clip, and the podcast was going back on, and there was
Like
Brent.
episode 80.
There's Brent and Robyn, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm not coming back."
It's like the dynamic duo, Brent, Man, and Robyn.
So,
You can have that one. That's a freebie. Brent, you can do the logo. Josh, you could just be the Joker. Or
but
Two-Face.
Ooh.
ooh, but
Do half Josh and half me.
Ooh.
but yeah, we're gonna be taking a break, just kind of recharging and everything, and
Should have flipped a coin and then made Andy disappear. Looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is addressing that, Josh, and I'm sure the few people that are actually listening don't understand. Like, we are 60-plus episodes in. We need a breather.
Not so much with that, too. You're traveling an awful lot here over the next 4 weeks.
I'm going to be gone another week. I'm going to a big festival in California, and then we're going to do some basement remodeling work, which is awesome. So my studio area is going to be tore apart for about, a month. So personally, I'm going to be causing issues, but yeah.
And
I got to live life, man. The concerts ain't coming to me, Josh. I got to go to them. So I'm going to California to see a show or two.
So California is the place you ought to be.
well, just be careful because it's split in 2s and 3s.
That's right.
Tell all my friends.
And we don't know why.
Out to the desert this weekend.
We're gonna still, use this time to, think of more episodes. In fact, today, Josh doesn't even know this. I reached out to a certain celebrity for a show idea. I'll tell you later. It ain't been invented. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about no size 8s.
Well, that is true. We have some other stuff that we have to try to coordinate timing. We have a person that I'm trying to get coordinated with, as Josh and Brent know, and that's just not working out great right now.
Josh has had a few where he's tried to coordinate with, and they say, "Yeah, it sounds great." And then we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and they haven't been on yet. So
yeah, we're taking a break, Josh.
And like I said, if you think about it, we've been doing, this. I mean, we released episodes beginning May of 2020. We probably were working on it a couple weeks before that. So it's, it's 18 months of every week we're doing this, and up late at night sometimes with interviews or stuff that we've never released. I mean, so, so there's just a lot goes on with it, and it's just
you got to release a screenshot of my head at least against the microphone at 4:30 in the morning.
So yeah, we're
to
just
Josh's. To your credit, you haven't missed any, while us two bozos have missed some.
So it's time to recharge, and and to the one person out there listening,
she's now on the show.
Yeah, you'll be okay. But in
you know what I think we you know what we could do? We could get on still.
No.
Just talk. Just bullshit.
No.
Talk about people on the page.
Yeah. So anyways, in Night Ranger news, we alluded to it already, the record store day. Night Ranger's got a release. For those that don't know, record store day is, I think it's something they started doing in 2007. It was something they kind of designed to get people to go into the brick and mortar stores. So record companies would release, rare albums, and you could only get them at independent record stores. And it's been going on to this day. A lot of great releases on Record Store Day. I posted on the Night Ranger page when the last one was in July, I think, or June. I can't remember, but they split it up. They had 2 in the summer. But I was in Milwaukee, and I found, place selling 7 Wishes and everything. But anyways, so yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, just Def Leppard had a couple at the last Record Store Day, 'cause I think I message you, Robyn. It's like, do you want any of these? And I think the only two that I wanted from the last one was I wanted Heaven and Hell from Black Sabbath picture disc. And the only one they had was Mob Rules. That's the thing, that things go on sale that morning, and people will go in and get them, and they're out.
It's crazy.
They line up here anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They do. And Motley Crue released a box set of the classic 5 albums on cassette, and I thought about getting it. I ended up not, but so they released the list yesterday, and I'm looking through it, and I just I thought I would have heard something, so I'm just already figuring Night Ranger's not on the list. And I see that James LaBrie, the lead singer of Dream Theater's got something. I'm like, he's got something, Night Ranger doesn't. And then like L.A. Guns has got something from like the 90s or the mid 2000s. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. And then all of a sudden I saw Night Ranger. I'm like, holy shit! And I looked, and there it was, somewhere in California. Then there was a better description of it today. It's that Pacific Blue. It's like I said, it's supposed to have some liner notes and stuff. Limited to 1,000 copies. So if you go, just Google Record Store Day. It's got its own official website. And you can type in your zip code, and it tells you all the record stores in your area that
Oh, that's cool.
that offer that are partnered up for that program. Saigon.
But what sucks is, even if they're partnered for that program, doesn't mean they're going to order that record.
It does not. So you go, and a lot of stores around here that I follow on Facebook and everything did put out something with Record Store Day, with a post saying, what do you guys want? So let your record store know that that's a record that you want, and have them order a few. So there you go.
I can get my local one down here to order the Night Ranger. They usually order a ton of everything. So I'll I'll see if they can they'll only allow you one copy.
Yeah, but the next day you can go in.
Well, at 8:00 that night, they usually go live online. The leftovers do. So at least
just take your whole family down there.
I'll just do what I did last time and say, oh, my buddy is doing something and needs an extra copy of this Ace Frehley record.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Anyway, go back
to down here in Nashville and see what I can find.
Josh was getting ready to say something about Saigon Kick.
Saigon Kick, the Lizard, is going to be released on vinyl, so that's another Record Store Day release. Aerosmith actually got a good one. It's like some of their first recorded tapes from like 71 they're releasing on vinyl. Those are like, I think, limited to 10,000. I think they're releasing it on cassette with 2,000. So
what's the big one, Josh? Is there anything that's really big coming out? Or
it might be that Aerosmith one. The one from the summer was the Foo Fighters doing that Bee Gees cover.
Blackberry Smoke's got a good one called Stoned. And they went back last November and they recorded, I think, 6 or 7 of their favorite Stones tracks live.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
They're gonna put it out.
There you go.
So, they're a good band.
And another thing is today is Kelly Keagy's birthday.
Not Jack Blades.
Not Jack Blades, like someone thought or someone posted. So Kelly Keagy is 69 years young today. So happy birthday. Kelly.
Yeah,
Keagy.
Kelly.
And there is a new Night Ranger show that's on the books. It's in Florida. Not really been officially announced yet by the band, but Autograph is playing with them, and they announced it. So Florida, November 20th. Just go to Autograph's Facebook page for right now, and you should be able to see it. And then in sad news, we lost one of my favorite comics, Norm Mcdonald, who I have sitting right behind me, last couple weeks. So, old Normie.
There's some Norm.
Yeah.
Norm was my favorite. and got to meet him in 2011. Saw him up in Marion, Ohio at this cool theater, and me and my buddy went around back. We were the only two back there, and we talked to the security guard, or the security guard talked to us, and I guess he'd went in and told Norm that there was a couple people back there, and a few minutes later, we'd kind of wandered back a little bit, and I hear the door open, and I look down the parking lot, back down towards the theater, and I see Norm sticking his head out. And, just ignoring, like, hey, what are you guys doing? And we went up and
couple of losers there. How you doing?
Talked to him, and he eventually asked us if we had any weed, or where he could get it. We weren't from around there, and but he hung out and talked to us for a while, and just
that's why he came out.
was a great guy.
And the beauty about Norm, not to trample on what you're saying, his sense of humor is so freaking special.
Yeah, he's
it's like,
very
his show Norm, there he is with a picture of a wiener dog. And of course, Wiener Dog's name was Wiener Dog. Hey, Wiener Dog.
Norm was a legend, man. He was great. I loved him on SNL. He was my favorite. Top two news people. I love Dennis Miller too, but I love Norm. Norm's delivery was fantastic, man. The saddest part about all this, besides his actual demise, was that he quietly suffered and died of cancer, and no one really knew that. That's a shame.
And I had front row tickets to see him last January of 20. But even then, when I saw him, I remember, saying to my girlfriend at the time, I was like, I could tell that he had aged a lot within the last couple years, maybe not even that. Like, being in the front row up close, I could tell that, he's, but you don't think it's cancer. You just think it's, he's
right.
60 years old and just stuff's catching up to you. But Norm was always, like I said, I spent, whenever, everybody's got ups and downs, and whenever I'd be down, I'd go down the Norm rabbit hole on YouTube, and you couldn't help but feel better. And Dennis Miller was my first a Weekend Update anchor, and I liked Kevin Nealon, but when I was a senior in high school, it was Norm, and then when I was living out on my own, you don't have really a lot of money. You're not 21 yet, so you're at home still on a Saturday night in your own apartment. I just remember staying up and watching Norm on Weekend Updates. So it's just another thing of showing, life is short, and all our asses are getting older, except for Robyn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a story they were talking about him on the radio today, saying how, he wasn't one of those comedians that would. Well, have so many people are afraid to say anything about anything. Evidently, what's his name that runs Saturday Night Live?
Lorne Michaels.
Don't make
Lorne
me have
Michaels.
to edit this.
Lorne Michaels, I guess, was a friend of O.J. Simpson's.
No, it was Dan.
Was it Lorne?
Dan, I can't think of his last name. Dan Oppenmeyer or something like that. He was the president of NBC, and he basically kept telling Norm on Saturday Night Live to stop telling OJ jokes because he would just rag on OJ, and
he never stopped.
He didn't stop, and they fired him. Which, two things. Number one, the ESPYs in 1998, I think it was, he hosted the ESPYs. If you have not watched his opening monologue, it's some of the funniest stuff you will ever see. So Google Norm and ESPYs, ESPY. And then when he got fired from SNL, a year and a half later, they brought him back to host it. And, that's a great monologue, too. It's hard to find, but he basically says, I was fired because they said I'm not funny. But yet, here in a year and a half later, I'm back. So did I get funny in a year and a half? Probably not. It takes a lot longer. So I think what has happened is the show has got worse. And that's like he's hosting the show that that's what he's talking about. But yeah, that's that and Frank Stallone always blamed everything on the Dow Jones is down this week. The cause you guessed it, Frank Stallone.
Yeah, I watched a clip of that today, and I will be after we get done recording. I'm gonna do a little Norm diving on YouTube. Sadly, you don't think about it until something happens, and we should appreciate people more. And Norm was a legend.
Well, we were just talking about him. I think on the last podcast we were giving Robyn some dirty work.
Yeah.
Or
Rob
it was beforehand.
a huge fan of Norm Mcdonald.
So look up Norm on Conan with Courtney Thorne-Smith. That's a good one. When there's another good one when Conan had took over the Tonight Show. Remember, he was like on the Tonight Show for like 2 months, and then Jay Leno like came back.
Hey, I'm coming back. Yeah.
Norm shows up with a fruit basket that he had bought a couple months ago but forgot to bring it. And he's like, I want to open it. The fruit all stinks, but here's the card. It's basically a congratulations card for taking over the Tonight Show, even though now he had just been announced
Conan.
He's getting kicked out. And he's like, congratulations on taking over the Tonight Show. That's something they can never take away from you. And but anyways, it's great. There's one it's hard to find too. It's him on, I think, Jay Leno or something, but he's with this blonde girl who's like an Olympic downhill skier or something like that, snowboarder. I don't remember her name, but that's a good one. But the best of all time is he was on The Daily Show.
Peekaboo Street?
No, I don't think that was her. But he was on the Daily. He was on The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, about 3 or 4 days after the crocodile hunter had gotten killed, and he starts making jokes, and Jon Stewart's like, "No, man, no, and he's like, "Yeah, my buddy, he called me. He's like, hey, did you hear about the crocodile hunter? He got killed." I'm like, how old was he? He goes, 44. I'm like, well, that's a ripe old age for a crocodile hunter. And he's like, you know who's pissed? It's the crocodiles, because they didn't get to kill him. It was a fruity fish, Like, the crocodile's like, hey, did you hear about the crocodile hunter got killed? And the other crocodile's like, who got him, Frank? Like, man, you don't want to know. But, anyways, just seeing them cringe, because I just remember watching. I'm like, holy shit, he's because I saw it live.
He doesn't care.
It's like 3 days afterward. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Anyways, welcome to the Norm Mcdonald podcast.
Wow.
Norm.
Well, it explains a lot because Andy and I used to listen to Jay Moore podcast a lot, and Jay Moore loves Norm Mcdonald, but he would always talk about how lazy Norm was.
Yeah.
And how he wouldn't show up for things, and
He never got a driver's license.
Well, but looking back, this has just been the past 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Could have had to do a lot with his cancer, and he didn't tell nobody.
Absolutely.
So.
Truth.
And what's crazy is his last special, which was about 4 years ago. He does a whole thing on cancer. He talks about he's like, people battling cancer, and he's like. There's a whole bit on it. Anyways, so let's go back to Night Ranger. Night Ranger news. We had that Florida. Norm was the best. We had that Florida show in November. When I when I got home from the Danny Ripepi show, my Night Ranger ATV PO shirt was in the mail, along with this one. So I got that in the mail. So at the show, I ended up getting this. It was only $5 at the show. It's $10 online. So there you go. Here, look at this.
Little koozie.
Yeah,
that's what Brent needs. Brent's a big koozie fan.
I hate koozies. If you can't drink it while it's cold and you let it get warm, you just ain't drinking fast enough.
You're talking about beer.
Well, I'm talking about anything.
No, you don't want to
Is it
sit
for
there.
the bottle, Josh?
Huh?
Is it a koozie for a bottle?
There you go. See, look at that.
There you go, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be
he was
warm by the
reading the
time you get it in
directions.
there.
But well, it wasn't
I mean, hey.
wasn't very user friendly.
Not a very good koozie. You got to fight to get it in there.
Well, let it absorb some water and get it'll be all right. But or some condensation.
I call them a coldy holdy.
Coldy holdy.
The
A
best
coldy holdy.
the best koozie I ever saw was just a bottom piece, and it was for a bottle, and it was basically so you wouldn't leave like water, condensation all over the place. But yeah, I don't like koozies. But anyways, I gotta throw it in the archives. So
Well, I mean, stances have to be made, Josh. Lines are drawn in the sand all the time. Josh is a no on koozies.
a no.
And I'm a
Brent
solid
is a
yes on them.
on koozies. Robyn, where do you
Solid
stand on koozies? You pro or negative? Pro or
I
con?
don't use them.
This
So that's a
koozie
no
is
for
at least
Robyn.
20 years old. This is about 20 years old. I got this at Spencer Gifts when I worked there.
I'm going
Say
to go
but-
with no on koozies, too. Unfortunately, Brent, I'm not ganging up on you. I do drink my cans fast, so I don't have a need for a koozie.
And listen, I've dated women with colder hearts than any can could ever be.
Let me give you a little
I've
tip
married.
on the koozie. If you always put the hole right where the seam is, and your thumb, like it's dark,
I don't care.
you reach for it, you touch that seam,
All
you
right.
know where the hole is.
I'm going to be
That's
on
hot
my
koozie talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Life hacks
going
from
to be
Brent.
on my deathbed pissed because you just wasted those 5 seconds. So they had a great merch booth for Night Ranger. If you wear a size small, you're in heaven.
Or medium.
But they did have something I'd never seen on the website. I'd seen, but they have the golf towel. So I don't know if you guys can see it right there. There's the golf towel, but they had black on black. So black golf towel, black logo on it. Looked pretty neat. I almost bought one, but I think they were like $15. Like on the website, they're 10. Even though they don't have the black on black. I was like, what the hell am I going to do with another golf towel? Ain't like I can use this coat. Something I can use like a koozie, right? But they had that. They had the ATBPO shirts. They had this Rockin' America.
So I got this.
One. Yeah. So
Well,
yes,
the cool shirt was this.
Yeah,
Me and
me and
Robyn.
Andy are wearing.
fucking.
I did get
That's
the
the
one
shirt
Brent's wearing though too.
You needed to get.
Well, I did, but Brent swiped it.
Well, that swipe is loose there, Josh.
I
And
thought
as they
we
said, and as
established
Swiper
we
said on
rescued.
Dora,
Rescued.
oh man,
Yeah.
Swipe or no swiping.
oh man.
So
Wow.
yes.
You'll never get your Dan Ripepi shirt now. You're too late.
So
There you go.
yes, my
Wow.
Danny Ripepi shirt is in the possession of Brent Walter. I think
Explain
that's.
why later.
Listen, man, it's just material items. I
That's
own
right.
them. They don't own me.
It is 100%
and-
con.
So I think that's all the Night Ranger news that I got, unless I'm missing something.
I do want to make a quick mention. It's not necessarily Night Ranger related, but I just happened to read before we came on tonight that in Tesla related news, Troy Luccketta is stepping away from the band for a brief while.
Is he really?
Yeah, so their tour, Troy Luccketta is the drummer for Tesla. He said there's no reason. He's taking some time to spend with his family and friends, and he's like, there will be another drummer coming out with him. There's nothing. He's not leaving the band. It's nothing like that. He's like, I'm just taking a break.
The drummer that's replacing him is Wild Mick Brown's brother.
It's actually Frank Stallone.
Yes. But
You guessed it,
Tesla's coming out on Record Store Day too.
Frank Stallone.
yeah, I think it's one of their classic albums. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably a colored vinyl. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing, too. It's like, it's just, you got to, I wonder, like, because you would think, Jack, Brad, and Kelly are somewhat well off. And it's like, I think about it like, man, every weekend, and not every weekend, if you're playing, the day before, you're flying, you got to go to the airport, fly, go to the hotel, be away from your family, sound check, do the show, go back to the hotel, fly the next day. And like, I've done that just to, just following them around a little bit this year. And it's like, fuck, this kind of sucks. It's like the downtime, or being away from your family. It's just like, I can see where Troy is coming from. And it's, it just amazes me that these guys, being in their mid to late 60s, are still,
Yeah, I mean, Tesla has been doing it roughly as long as Night Ranger, and they're probably doing that same fly-in gig stuff that Night Ranger's doing now. And if they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's a Thursday to
Monday.
Sunday night, Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a schedule, man.
Yeah.
And it gets tough. So
you would think with all the downtime he had for the COVID, he wouldn't be taking any time off. That's what's
maybe.
I said we don't know what's going on, and
maybe he just realized, hey, I enjoy being home, and and you gotta look at it. It's work. That's what it is to them. Do I need to go work at however old he is? So.
Plus, he was wasn't he in Eric Martin's band too?
Back in the early '80s.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been doing this for a really long time. So
I think it was.
So anyway, that's just something I wanted to throw out there because Tesla's kind of in the Night Ranger world. So.
This isn't Night Ranger news, but when Jack did I think it was, what was the podcast they did where they sold the signature records, the CDs?
Talk Shop Live?
Talk Shop Live. I think that's what it was, or there was another one. But Jack held up the preliminary artwork for Midnight Madness. And Josh, we never got to speak about this, where he, everything was matted. Did you see that?
I watched the Talk Shop Live, but I guess I missed that.
It wasn't that. Well, there's another one out there of Jack, and I meant to ask you if you saw it. It's a Midnight Madness background. It's a picture, and there's pictures of everybody cut out and taped to the thing. And of course, the Night Ranger logo, I think, had fallen off of it, but he snatched it. It's what they used for the album cover, and I got to find it and send it to you. It's very cool. And I want to ask Jack about that so bad. I want to talk to him about, what else do you have?
I remember back in the 90s, I think it was Kelly, or it could have been Brad, but I think it was Kelly, and I had Midnight Madness for them to sign. And I remember him turning it over and saying, like, that's our tour manager, and that was this person. Like, you remember how he got the guy with the sword, and there's the guy in the astronaut outfit. Like, he was telling me
who they were.
Each of them were.
That's cool.
So what's next there, Andrew?
So anybody got any new stuff that they need to display, show, besides what we've already talked about? Anything else that want to add to the collection? Robyn, you have anything you want to show us? I noticed some Hellraiser Lamont configurations hanging in your background.
I actually got this at my Star Trek con that I was recently at.
Are those fuzzy dice for your car?
Yeah, I just have them on my lamp right now, but they are Hellraiser.
I have a plastic version of that.
So that is.
So anyway, if anyone wants to open the portal to hell, contact me or Robyn. See what we can do. She'll do it while she's driving in a fast car.
Or log on
the Batmobile.
Log on to Skype with Brent. One of the two.
Curses, Robyn. We must get to the portal of hell.
Josh, you're number one in my book.
Yeah.
See, you're not even looking.
Nothing else
number
new.
one.
No, I didn't even get a chance. We are a Night Ranger podcast here, and we got a promo version of the greatest hits on cassette.
Nice.
With a sticker.
It was not very much, hence why I bought it, but it had the hype sticker, so I was like, for $3, what the hell. But
Very
it nothing different on the inside, just has the punch hole in the barcode, the promo sticker, and then the promos always never came sealed, so the hype sticker is on.
Oh yeah.
It looked like it had another hole drilled through the front of it too, down by the hype sticker, the bottom right hand corner.
No, there's nothing else.
That's not a hole?
Where?
No,
It'd be
that's a
on your
Q.
left side.
No,
There's a little
it's
circle.
it's whatever. It's on
It's
the
a
cover.
Q management or something.
High quality logo underneath there.
Okay,
This
gotcha.
did come from Singing Dog Records, which was in Columbus, Ohio,
Yep.
on High Street. And another thing I got was, a lot of people don't know that Brad Gillis Gill Rock Ranch was re-released on CD in 2000 on Koch Records, Koch.
Cook.
Koch.
Cook.
Koch. Cook is Cook.
No. We even have Cook Sporting Goods here in town
No.
that make all the Reds and Bengals uniforms. It's Cook.
This is Koch. Okay.
No, you
K-O-C-H.
shaping. So
Okay,
Yeah,
so no, that's not how it's pronounced. But a lot different than the original CD release. It's got the see-through side. It says Practicing Musician Series. Got the colored CD. It's got a backdrop photo. The back is a little bit different. Musically, it's the same. That's why it took me 20 years to get it. I wasn't going to pay that much for it. And the inside's a little bit different and some different photos. But yes, if you are a Brad Gillis fan and you want everything, you need to get the 2000 reissue of Gill Rock Ranch. And then I picked this up. I've never mentioned it. I think I've said that there is a Holy Grail item, but I never wanted to mention it because I wanted to find it, and it's almost impossible to find. I've seen photos of it. I know that it was on an auction site a few years ago in Japan, but it is live in Japan, or Japan in Motion, on VHS. It's just hard to find, and I saw this little advertisement lot. One is Jeff Watson with the winner of the Big Life.
the Vidal Sassoon thing.
Agree and Edge or whatever.
Yeah.
That. Then there is this Man in Motion article.
Well, says you. Can't
But
read any of that.
the reason why I got it was this is from a Japanese magazine, and it's for Japan in Motion, and it shows right there that you can get it on Laserdisc or VHS. It's the only time I've ever seen, documented proof that the VHS exists. I saw a photo, and I was almost 100%, that it was real, wasn't something counterfeited. But so if you have a VHS copy
Japan in Motion.
get a hold of Weave.
Waiting on the weave.
So
Brent,
that's all I got.
Andrew,
you got anything Fans in Motion?
I only
that you
have
want to
two
bring
things. Steve Karen posted a picture he got at a flea market of a Big Life poster. It was a silver poster. Coincidentally, that's the posters I gave to Jack Blades once upon a time, back in my younger Robyn days. So it was cool to see that he got that at a flea market for, I guess, a really good price.
Yeah.
And Cindy Lynn had posted pictures from the Midnight Madness tour. They did in an in-store record store. The pictures were all faded, and I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, let's face it, the page for the past week has been ruled by the Danny Ripepi Memorial Concert. I mean, it's really. I mean, and before we jump into it, that was a week ago tonight. I can't even believe that was a week ago already. A week ago tonight, we were all hanging out.
Yeah.
And God, it was fun.
And rocking out. Rocking!
Yeah.
I take screaming vocals there.
So, those were the two standouts I had from the page. But like I said, there's been a lot of Danny Ripepi Memorial stuff, and I guess we should dive into that, guys and girl, lady.
And Robyn.
I said lady.
I like lady.
Oh, I get it.
I was referring to Josh as the female.
All right, fucker.
The weave. That's the weave, man.
I will
The
see
weave.
you again.
He likes he doesn't.
So Josh, let's talk about how great. So a week ago we did this. Josh got a table. Fans in Motion was well represented. We had the #1 spot, the pole position tables. It was awesome to see our logo up on the stage on the video screen, which I got some pictures of. I think a few people got pictures of that. It was just something. Again, this little idea that started over a year ago to see our name up on the stage and the merch and the catalogs and whatnot. That was so cool. I don't know if you want to go around the horn and everybody talk about what happened to them. Josh, how you want to do it, or do you have a idea how you want to talk about this?
Well, I showed up the night before, so I showed up Tuesday night, and I stayed in the hotel that had the code and everything that they had put on the Danny Ripepi page, where you just enter in that code and you get it for such a price. Now, I did know that Night Ranger was staying there, which no one else knew, but I also knew that they were doing something with Ed's family that night, so I didn't expect to see anybody. So I got there and went into the hotel bar restaurant and sat down and got a drink and was going to have a couple drinks and get something to eat and call it a night. When all of a sudden, I see coming towards me is Kelly Kagi and Jen, his wife, who that was the first time I had met her in person. So I bullshitted with them for a little bit, and then they kind of took off, and then the next thing I know, I hear my name, and there is Jack Blades in the lobby, and I got up, and we kind of met each other and talked a little bit, and then next thing I know, there's Brad Gillis, and it was kind of weird again. Brad calls me by my name, so it's it's just a little bit different, but me and Brad talked a little bit about the San Francisco Giants and the the Las Vegas Raiders now. And then they took off to go do their thing with Ed's family. And I ended up just staying there and watching some of the ball game. Eric texted me later. And then Eric, when he got back from the dinner, me and Eric sat and had a couple of drinks there and bullshitted. So that was just cool. Just, again, where we started this 18 months ago, there's someone calling my name and there's Jack Blades. So just kind of neat. But so the next day, this is when you flew in, Andy and Brent, you were driving up that day. I texted Ed that morning, so I knew he would have a lot going on. I just texted him like, hey, hope everything's going well. If you need something, let me know. And sure enough, they needed something. I went and helped him with that. And showed up at the venue and dropped that stuff off. And then they needed something else. I had to go do some searching in Cleveland and find. And when I brought that back, Brent, I think you were there, right?
I was already there.
So
I was already sitting watching sound check.
So that was my second time being back. So Brent, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I pulled into Cleveland and I got off at the exit, Orange Avenue or something like that. But I got off the exit a little too early and went on down past the stadium, the Tower Plaza. I think it's sort of what it's called.
Now, everybody needs to know Brent's not using GPS probably. He's still got, the 19... '91 Rand McNally.
I had written down. I had written it down, and I taken pictures off Google Earth to look at. So anyway, so I get down and I'm like looking, and I could see it off in the distance, and I take a left, and I thought if I could just find Center Street, and I was on Center Street. I'm like, so it was great. My directions worked out great, even though I didn't follow them right. And I pulled in the parking lot, and I get out of the car, and I can hear them sound checking Seven Wishes over and over and over again. Like Kelly'd start it up, and you're and it would stop. So I'm like,
that would have been awesome.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'm looking around, and there's, so I stop and I take a picture of the big gigantic banner as you walk in of the Danny Ripepi Memorial Concert. And I go in, and I guess I just moved the barricade and walked on in.
That's a Brent move. For those who don't know Brent, the barriers don't really mean a lot to Brent. He's like, I need to be there. So I'm just going to act like I'm supposed to be here. That's a famous Brent move. Just act like you're. I'll tell stories later, but that's Brent. So go for it, buddy.
Yeah. Well, if you look like you're supposed to be there, you're supposed to be there. So I walk in, and there's Ed Ripepi with his back to me, getting stuff ready for the auction, and Jack Blades. Now, like you said, the band is on stage doing Seven Wishes. So the last person I thought I would see first is Jack Blades. And Jack Blades looks, he goes, well, if it isn't Brent Walter. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jack? No. I was like, Jack Blades, how you doing? Just trying to be as cool as I can. Because you can't get used to it. You just can't get used to it. You don't think it's really happening.
Yeah.
So I walk up and offer my assistance. Is there anything I need to do? And Ed said, just go find a seat. Enjoy sound check. And Jack's like, oh, I think I better get up there. But first, can I bid on this alcohol? He's looking at the wheelbarrow of alcohol. And Ed's like, yeah, I guess you could. There's a couple $1,000s worth of alcohol in there. So meanwhile, I walk into the sound check, and Eric Levy's playing Seven Wishes on the keyboard, and he just starts waving to me as I'm walking in. And I'm like, yeah, you just can't believe that's happening to you, And it's cool. It'll never not be a big deal to me. Don't matter how well I know them, I can know them as well as all three of you. It will always be a big deal.
I wish I'd have been there. I delayed getting dropped off because I was like, nothing's going on.
There's always something going on.
I think Josh's last message was everybody meet at the merch table at 6:15. I'm like, all right, nothing's going on. I'm gonna go. And I spent the time driving around Cleveland.
There's nothing going on after sound check.
Yeah.
So after sound check, there's not much going on. The band's gone.
Yeah.
So. Yes, so that's where
Brent, don't sleep on how you fooled people with your backstage all access pass thing you had.
Oh, I didn't have what I had. Anybody got the business cards in front of them?
Josh has got one sitting there.
I do.
Okay, that business card.
Your pick too.
I had two of those, and I wore a laminate around my neck, a lanyard anyway, with an empty, and I just put these two business cards in there. And as I'm watching sound check, and Jack comes up and they're singing, and then they started having some, just corrected some sound issues. I thought, well, I'm going to go get my album out in the car and get it autographed while I'm here, because this might be the best time to do it. And as I'm coming back in, there's a security guard. And he's like, can I help you? I said, and I just pulled out I'm with the band here, working with Ed Ripepi. Okay, go on in. And I walked up to the guy. I'm like, well, I said, we do the,
Did you go? I'm sure you've heard of it, the podcast, right?
I said, we do a podcast for Night Ranger, and we have, we do a fan page for them and everything. He said, okay, that's great.
He's like, I love Knight Rider. So
then I even get cocky at this point. I'm like, well, I said, you realize this is just business cards in here, do you not? He's like, oh, it's cool. So the funny thing was, that guy and I kept running into. I ran into him again later because I was trying to get Wi-Fi access, and one of the employees told me to go into this trailer, and I go into the trailer, and it's a bathroom. So they take me back, and they open up the door, and there's that guy sitting there in this with video cameras, looking at stuff, and this lady. And I said, yeah, I just need the Wi-Fi password. And she's like, well, it's backstage. Well, I didn't have a pass to go backstage.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's not working. I don't have the right password. So it was boombox ! With a capital B. And they're asking me for the guest list and who's going backstage with the passes. And I said, well, you're confused because I'm not that person. I said, but I said, I do that. And the guy goes, he does a page with Night Ranger. And I'm like, so anyway, we ran into each other all night long. And the guy constantly was telling me hi, putting his arm around me and everything. Cool ass guy. It was really fun. But after the sound check was over, the only person I spoke to was Kerry Kelly. He came out, and I talked to, of course, Carl a little bit. And then Josh is like, hey, you want to go to this bar? And I'm like, hey, I kind of wanted to stay there, not realizing everybody was really gone. Because everybody was gone. I didn't think they were. And he was going to go get oysters, and I can't stand seafood. I mean, Robyn,
especially raw seafood.
Yeah, I cannot stand seafood. I can't stand smelling it. Ugh. Oysters, that does me in right there. There's just nah. Anyway, so Josh ran off to get some oysters and got some drinks or whatever, and I sat there and I listened to boom, 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 boom. One of the bands hit the kick drum for an hour and a half in a sound check. Boom, boom, boom. And I
Boku?
I believe, yeah. And I said one of the bands. I was being nice. And I asked Carl, I said, how fucking long does it take to get the sound adjusted for a bass drum? And of course, it's going right through your whole body while they're doing it. So then, after they finally lock it in, and I mean, they're running short on time because the AC/DC tribute band still hadn't been on stage yet. That guy, what's his name?
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson guy, he'd been out in the audience forever. I mean, yeah. Josh and I were even talking about him, how, he was pulling the look off pretty good. And so finally Boku says, okay, let's run a song. And the drums are not even at the level they were testing for an hour and a half.
Wow.
Oh, that was
they were a good band, though. I mean, I never knew any of their songs, but what I heard, I was like, these guys are pretty good.
So you watched them. I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
I knew some local musicians that were in there. I mean, not like super well, but like knowing of them just hanging out around here, there's always people playing everywhere. So it was cool to see a bunch of them coming together and doing that too.
Yeah.
Oh, they all weren't part of the band. They were just helping out, or what? No, or was that?
I don't know. I can't. I feel like some of them were, and some of them were originally in it and whatnot. Like there's Tommy and Frank Amato, and they do nice benefit stuff too, like annually.
Yeah.
So.
Were those the two singers?
No, the one was. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what they play all kinds of instruments, so I'm not exactly sure what they played.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's two guys that just did nothing but sing. Then they had two guys playing guitar. They had one bass player, two keyboard players, and a drummer.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty good, though. For those that are interested in local music, they were good.
And Jack came out and sang with the AC/DC band.
Yeah.
Yes. My better half shot some video of it as we were all
Did she?
out. Yeah, she sent it to me while we were all out in the courtyard or wherever that was, mugging for pictures and.
Well, I figured he
people.
did that because Ed was Ed's best friend. One of his best friends played in that band that he met at Fantasy Camp. So that's probably why Jack did it, because Jack knows the guy because he was in the Fantasy Camp with him.
Gotcha.
So
there you go.
Makes sense.
Probably the best thing was we did a kind of a Fans in Motion group meeting, and Fans in Motion really turned out for that event. I'm not even going to try to name all the names because I will be missing someone.
Here's picture number 1 coming up. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
You've just won a free oven mitt.
Yeah.
Man, you want to
You
stay
can't see that.
for a free oven mitt, man?
I don't even remember taking that picture.
I'm Mr. Nussbaum.
There's the oven mitt right there.
All right. So there's...
That was Steve Martin, by the way.
But that was so much fun, just seeing, like you said, Josh, the turnout for the fans in motion.
Mhm.
And there's probably more people there that just didn't make it to the photo.
That's
ops.
Robyn's mom in the front, right, Robyn?
Yeah, Andy's between my mom and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
Is that
the Chapin
Dave
brothers, Nadelman. There's Lisa and Daryl.
His daughter, Cheryl.
Ken
right?
Finley and his
Chelsea.
daughter.
Chelsea, that's right.
now? Let me tell you the Ken Finley story real quick. I have recognized when Ken Finley joined the page. I recognized him, and come to find out, he was from Cincinnati, Ohio, originally. And it's been driving me crazy since he joined this page. Why I know him, and we were talking, and I said, he walked up and goes, Ken Finley. He goes, how you doing? I said, we have a connection somehow, and I don't know what it is. I said, you used to live in Cincinnati. He was like, yeah. I said, I don't know if it's from going to concerts and seeing you. I don't know if we have a friend in common, blah, blah, blah. So get separated a little bit, come back. I'm like, I know you. He's like, I don't know you. Yada, yada, yada. And Josh is drinking with his daughter, Maddie. Yeah, sorry. So I remember my daughter's name is Madison, so that's how I remember that. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ken goes, where do you work? What do you do? And I turned around and went, oh, my God. He used to work for the company that I currently work for.
There you go.
I started 26 years ago this month, and he left 25 years ago. So
Okay.
I recognized him from being there because I was a new person. And then, when you're new, you learn all these faces, but you don't remember anybody's names. And that's why his face. And so right when he said it, I went. The light bulb went off in my head. The mystery was over. Huh.
So is he on the page?
He's on the page. Yeah.
Okay.
Ken's a good guy. And he lives up in Toledo, and so he came over for the show.
Nice. Well,
So-
what ends?
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff. So I'm sorry, but yeah, God,
Yeah, that's cool.
small world. Wouldn't want to paint it as Stephen Wright says, but
Stephen Wright's the best.
Yeah, I love Stephen Wright.
Oh my God, that's nice. That's a nice.
I lost
quote.
a sock, so I called information. Information answers. I said, "Where's my sock?" She says, "It's behind the couch."
I could do that all night.
Yeah.
So real quick, let me jump to Robyn. I'm curious because Robyn, you were specifically excited about a certain song that was played that night.
Well, let's
Tell
before,
us-
we, before we go into the set list, you got any more photos there?
I have three more. So we'll go to this one with my oven mitt. That was the first one we took, I think, because I
That was
know.
just before I got there.
Yeah, we had one of the ladies that was working security
Oh,
or
yeah.
what have you. She was taking the picture. She looked at me. She's, get down on your knee.
Yeah.
So I get down on my knee and I'm looking around. I'm like, nobody else is down,
Look at Brent posing down there on
I
his
said, I
knee.
look like I'm protesting.
Yeah.
But we got there's I think Linda and Mary. Does that sound right? And then there's Nadelman and his daughter, Daryl, Lisa, the Chapin brothers, and that is Andy. And there's my aunt and her best friend, Jody and Teresa. Those are the ones that got the Night Ranger records from when I was a kid. And then standing beside me in the black is Kelly's wife, Jen. I messaged her and asked her if she wanted to come out and meet everybody, and she did. And that was
That was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's from what, Chicago? And I knew she was a Cubs fan. I don't know how I knew that, but I knew she was a Cubs fan, and the Reds had just played the Cubs. And I said, I went, oh, by the way, I said, my Cincinnati Reds enjoyed like hell kicking the shit out of your Chicago Cubs yesterday. I said, I'm just making it real for you.
Yeah, you jinx us because they suck now.
Say it's from Cleveland.
Yeah, well, they always do.
You got one more?
Oh, one more picture?
Yeah.
Two more.
Oh, okay.
There's another one.
Patty
Saurus there. Ken...
Oh, yeah.
That's Joe Casamata on the right.
Yeah.
Mike Smith. Did we say Mike Smith earlier?
Did we say Lisa
yeah.
yet? Is Lisa in one of those pictures? Came from Pennsylvania?
That was the last one.
That was the last one.
Okay.
Lisa and Daryl.
Yeah. And his brother Daryl.
That was such a beautiful day too. Like the weather was perfect. Like it
really
wasn't
was.
too hot, wasn't too cold. The sun wasn't really bad except for just right there if you were looking into it.
And it was an absolutely beautiful, not an arena, just an establishment.
Did I not tell you guys that?
It was freaking, with the boats going by,
I told
the
you.
big ships. I don't know how they weren't hit. It was amazing.
Yeah, I told you it's a great venue. It was a beautiful day to drink. It was.
Sounded great. The backdrop, seeing the city behind us, and
Yeah,
there's the
that
final
guy.
one.
Looky there.
I gave him a hug that day, but it was just like a really quick hi.
Yeah, he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he goes, "Let's get a picture."
There's a
But I forgot all about it.
lot of sexiness in that photo.
Yeah.
And I did bring out the England tour shirt.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
So squeeze my fat ass into it, but yeah. So there we go. The shadow on that photo makes my bicep look bigger than it is, I think. So good lighting.
Yeah, well, when you posted that, I'd forgotten all about taking that. And Andy's got pictures I haven't even seen yet. I know there's a picture of Andy and I at the show with the stuff in the background, because I took pictures of Robyn and her mom, and Chapin, ding, is photobombing, then he just jumps in,
But it was great, and hopefully, like I said, if you're at a show, throw something on the page and let people know, hey, just throw something up. Meet the merch table is always the best place. Everybody knows where that's at, and it's out of the way a little bit, and meet up and make new friends. And I plan on heading out to the St. Louis show or whatever the hell it is in Illinois this Saturday. So hopefully get some people there. It's hit and miss. I mean, that show was a lot of fans in motion. We had a few in Dayton. In Iowa when I was there, there was just a couple. And then the next night in Wabash, there was, 10 or 15 of us. So it just depends.
But I wasn't expecting the crowd we had in Cleveland, and the fact that like Dave Nadelman and his daughter flew from Florida to come to that show, and people, Chapin came from Pittsburgh. Where does Lisa's Pennsylvania, you said?
Yeah, Lisa and Daryl. They're about 3 hours away from Cleveland. I don't know where at in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Andy coming from Nashville. I'm coming from Cincinnati. I mean, a lot of people traveled for this
Robyn,
thing.
you came all the way from
5 minutes.
From 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
the best. She's like, this is the best show for me.
Hey, I went to Wabash, and I love road tripping.
So yeah, it was just awesome. These people came from all around, and it was, we talked to these people on the page, and to see them in person, it was like, honestly, it was like for me, that I knew everybody a lifetime already. Yeah. There was no.
There were a lot of hugs given out to people I just met.
Well, it's like what? It was Nadelman's daughter and Finley's daughter. Hell, I got them drinking with us, and Lisa and Daryl bought around, and it was a good time, and
It's like Josh was playing his own little drinking game.
Well, listen, the mistake I made was I got bored. All right, that's why I wouldn't be a good rock star because there's a lot of downtime. All right, and I'm fine and sound checks going on, but then there's nothing going on. I'm like, well, shit. That's why, like, if I go, I'm like, I'm always asking Ed, like, get me something to do, keep me busy. I don't care if it's move these chairs, go take this broom and sweep rocks or something. But but I went to the oyster place was across the river, so I didn't go. But I found this other little bar, and they had a happy hour, and so when I got there, there was no one there. So I ordered, a drink, and then it got crazy busy. And something was happening. I don't know if he just wasn't a good bartender, but shit was not getting made right. And since I was there bullshitting with him before it was busy, he would just give me the, hey, they didn't like, they said this didn't taste right. And he just give it to him like, tastes fine to me, and so like when it came to pay my bill, like there's only like a few drinks on it, but he's like, hey, I'll ring this up as the happy hour. I'm like, well, I thought that's what I ordered. And I guess he didn't hear me because, bottom shelf was happy hour, but he was pouring me like Tito's, like top shelf vodka. And so along with whatever else I had. So, then it's like, all right, I can, I'll come down a little bit. And then I get there and it's just like everybody you knew. And, it's just like, well, and I'll just, it's like, that's the thing is I'm not a casual drinker. I don't go, I can't just go have one or two beers. It's like usually if I start, hey, we're going to this train ends, and it didn't end even after the show. I don't even know if I told you guys everything, but
well, I'll tell you the best thing I saw you do all night, Josh, and this is all honesty. He walks up to me with all seriousness. He goes, "Put your hand out," and I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Here. Don't give this back to me ever for any reason." And it was the key to his car. So that was a pretty. At least you were very aware. Like I should not be driving at this point in time.
I fucking hate my drunk self. I mean,
So
why do you? Why buy airbags? Why buy that stuff if you're not going to use it?
Well, I know you wanted to test them out, but that night may not have been the night.
Well, who'd you give the key to?
His aunt.
Because when I finally Josh, I couldn't find him. And I'm getting kicked out of the place because I'm worried about his drunk ass.
He told me, he said, go give it to my aunt because he knew I was getting on a plane. He wasn't getting that key back.
I said, you ain't driving. He's like, fuck it, I got airbags. I was like, fuck you. And I looked at him and said, you know what that dick said? I got airbags. I said, he's a smart ass even when he's drunk.
Yeah, he's still on point.
Especially when he's drunk.
Yeah.
He
gets a little sharper.
It's having a good time, and I am a nice drunk until someone not really pisses me off, but if I see someone like disrespecting my friends, that's usually when you'll find out that bottles are aerodynamic. But
I will say you do get slightly accusatory with your drinks.
I'm not accusing.
He insisted I kept drinking them, and I was not. He was, but it was fantastically funny to watch him do.
Because
he's like,
drink.
Don't touch these two drinks. I was like, I didn't touch the last two because I'm watching you. And then he walks away and leaves them at the table. I was like, this is how things happen.
And then he says, then your aunt or somebody said to him, no more. You go, I'm fine. You went to reach over, pick it up, and you started falling into the table. And Andy and I catch you.
Well, that's
and you're
that's because
that's just for dramatic effect.
There was stuff on the ground that I'd slipped on. So
anyway, let's get past Josh's liver.
It was
that
fun.
Or him just ripping on Chapin for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I was not upset about.
That's another whole.
I made him get that Night Ranger hat.
We'll do another whole show about how bad we hate the Steelers.
I didn't get to say. I was going to tell him that was a shit hat. But everybody sees it wants to take a shit in it,
Well, listen, I mean, I wasn't giving him shit. I was just saying that in that.
I hate you in your hat.
Yeah. Other than that, I love you, bro.
I mean, and
what did you say to Andy? You liked him better on the podcast or something like. I forget what it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I like
him. Me?
Yeah, he got yeah. Andy, I like seeing you better on the TV screen. I don't like
Well,
seeing you in person.
That is true. That was the first time Josh and I had actually physically met each other was at Cleveland's concert. So
Hey, and I got to do it again. I don't remember much of it.
yeah. So let's talk about this awesome show in the set list. Does anybody have the set list that we can run down the songs, or you just want to pick some highlights?
Do not. It might be on the page. I'll start going for it.
I
But
think someone did put it on because I was raving about the third song.
well, and here's the thing too is, there was no live stuff from the Night Ranger page, just because I was informed not to do anything for the Night Ranger page.
Right.
I'm not going to get any more details than that. Nothing big. It's just people are
they didn't want live
perfectionists, and what they think sounds bad at a sound check really doesn't. And
no.
it's like okay, but the individual pages were fine. So I did. So that's why
makes no sense.
Well, it does. I'm not going to say anything else. If you connect dots and shit, but so yeah. So anyways, so there is live stuff out there on the pages. They recorded the show. They put some up on the Danny Ripepi page. They opened. You guys remember what they opened with?
Somehow,
some way.
Yeah.
Which was good. I was like, that's awesome. Although I still would prefer to hear "Comfort Me," but I don't poo-poo that one. And I would have been cool with "Lay It On Me" if you want to go, something from each different album.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're just comfortable with, somehow, some way. It's just something they're comfortable with, and
well, and they changed it up because typically they'll open with like "Touch of Madness" or something like that, which I would have loved. I like hearing new stuff too.
They really changed up this show because normally they play, like in Wabash, they only play 13 songs. But this one they played, 15, 16? We got a little bit more out of them.
No covers, right?
I don't count Damn Yankees as covers because it's Jack, so that
Yeah, that was cool too. I mean, I still never tire of hearing "Coming of Age" and "High Enough." I mean, would I like to have heard "Call My Name" or something like that? Sure. But that's just not a reality. It's not going to really happen. So, in turn, I'll
what
take.
He said about it too. What Jack said. He's like, "Well, I wrote them, so I'm going to play them."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no harm, no foul on those songs.
And you just gotta remember that most of the people aren't hardcore fans like us. I mean, it kind of gets back to, I was going to bring this up in the last episode, but Leonard Skinner's got one original member, really, Gary Rosington. And he's been missing shows. They replaced him with Damon Johnson, who was in that third record of Damn Yankees. And there are, of course, people out there, the hardcores of Leonard Skinner, who are like, what the fuck? But you know what? People like me and you guys, we don't give a shit if,
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is, if we go see Leonard Skinner and they play one of their deep tracks from, Pronounced Leonard Skinner or whatever, we would be like, all right, I don't know that one. I mean, I would, but again, it's like, or they play Halfway to the Sun, we're going to be, into it.
Oh yeah.
But the rest of the people are not, and they're going to dig Coming of Age and stuff. So I get it. It's just, you want people to be happy and into it, and
sure.
These are two big hits that are still played today. They're probably played more than the majority of Night Ranger songs, except for maybe Sister Christian and Don't Tell Me You Love Me.
So, do we have a set list yet? Do you find it?
I'm scrolling.
Okay. Does everyone remember what
really cool?
Do what?
I was going to say something that was really cool. I had ran into Kerry Kelly, and I had to ask him a question about a certain item. Basically, I got the guitar pick I designed for him. And
That's a
I
little
told him,
fuzzy.
I said, look, I said, you told who were we supposed to meet up with, Josh? Who did you say meet up with? Carrie told us earlier.
Ryan.
Ryan. I said, hey, Carrie. I said, Josh is sloshed. And I said, and I have no idea who Ryan is. I said, and when I looked at Josh, I said, hey, we got to go find Ryan. Josh drinks the rest of his drink. He's fucking. It's too late. And I'm thinking, damn, I want to see that guitar pick. I want to see it. And I said, is there any way you can hook me up? And he's like, well, let me see what I can do. So I'm out there with Robyn, the Shapin' Chapins, Dave Nadelman. I mean, what was there, about 15 of us out there? And Carrie Kelly comes walking over to me with a stack of guitar picks, and I'm talking to him for a minute. And I started handing them out to everybody. And Mike Smith was there. And all of a sudden, Tom Chapin goes, when did you get these? I said, well, Carrie just handed them to me. I was just sitting there talking to me. He goes, how the fuck did I miss that? I'm like, he's standing right here, right next to you. But, Carrie's got that ability to walk into a crowd. And if he's not on stage, he looks like anybody else in the crowd.
Yeah.
He's just got that ability. And if you're not looking for him, you're not going to see him. He'll walk right past you. It's amazing.
But yeah, it's a big thing for you to get on the guitar pick. So,
yeah, I mean,
You
I
put so
can't
much
tell
work into it too.
Mhm.
So like, you deserve.
Well, this
that.
was a year ago when he contacted me.
Another thing, it was cool that Nadelman got to run into Jack Blades at the Starbucks.
Sorry.
There's some Fans in Motion, our thing on the big screen. There's fucking Chapin. That's why you get shit.
Yep.
There is our table. You can see
The view.
there, number one, and we're right by Kelly.
And
Best
I
one.
figured this out, Josh, why it looks like this. If you get on iTunes, that's our icon.
that's
That's
the
how the
thumbprint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thumbnail.
it's everything for the internet. So it comes from the website and it feeds into all that stuff.
But no, that's the picture they used off the thumbprint.
Yeah.
That's why it's not the full picture.
It happens.
I figured that out.
The second song that was played was 4 in the Morning.
Perfect. Love that song.
It came without a warning.
I just love it. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Love that song. That's all I got to say about it.
And then Rockin' Robin's favorite song 3 was
One
what?
of two, yeah. 7 Wishes. What Brent was saying. He heard at sound check. I
Yep.
just shouted, "Oh my god!" They heard the drums.
Well,
People were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, so for you, Robyn, now you've never heard that live, right?
No, never. No,
Not
I think
person,
I heard
anyway.
Rumors in the Air once, which they did, and it's one of my favorite ones. I'll never.
Yeah.
I wish they played that every single one.
I'm with you on that, too.
But no, like hearing that for the very first time was amazing.
and
Like Faces were like my favorites.
and they had us 3 guys there. They could have got one of us and got a little sword, and we could have got behind that screen. We could have done that. But there's no reason why we could not have. And speaking of sound check, I couldn't really hear it, but I think Jack was fucking with me with my shirt because I had the Night Ranger logo shirt, the English one. Because the night before, remember I told you I saw him in the hotel and I was talking to him. Jack liked my ATBPO shirt, and I had to tell him, I had to make this myself because there was no ATB.
They didn't have them.
Yeah, and he's like, Kelly, look at this. This is bootlegged, and and he's giving me a little shit for it. So I think during the sound check while we were talking, because I also took a picture of another shirt I had sent to him. I'll wear it someday and show you guys, but as a joke, and he kind of liked it. Again, a bootleg shirt. But I think while we were talking, he said something about the shirt I was wearing. I can't be 100% sure. But so 7 Wishes, and then it went into Sing Me Away. Then
Never tire of that song.
Then
I'm
Personally,
with you guys. That's how I feel too. It's literally one of the best vocals for Kelly, and the whole melodies. It's like, how do you not feel happy after you hear that song? It's like a good mood song.
well, I
it's
can
just such a great song.
if you got someone stealing your drinks when you put them on the table, that's how you could not be happy.
Quietly an alcoholic, Josh.
Mister,
Yeah.
I don't drink.
Drink me away. Drink me away.
But Singing Away,
Where
Coming
the
of
fuck's my
Age,
drink?
Sentimental Street.
Perfect.
That's awesome too.
And it looks
Again,
Nah.
like-
never tire of that dun dun dun. I'm like, oh.
It looks like something was blacked out with the.
Yeah, it
was
was.
it Bring It On Home to Me?
It was
That's what
Bring It
everybody
On
was
Home to
saying.
Me.
It's funny. I actually asked Josh. I was like, "Is there
Well-
any chance they might do that one?" 'Cause I like that one slightly more than Breakout.
They
Yeah.
rehearsed that in sound check. They did Breakout in sound check. They did Seven Wishes in sound check, and Somehow, Some Way in sound check. And
It's a lot of
Sentimental Street, they did in sound check.
I
And
know.
Josh, you weren't there the one time when they did. You were talking about Jack talking about. I swear to God, I'm sitting there looking at my phone trying to get the internet, and I hear somehow, some way, Brent Walter knows the words. Somehow, some way, and I thought, and I looked up, and he wasn't looking. But I thought, did I just fucking hear that? I know it was because I was there singing it, like, and I heard Brent Walter knows the words somehow, and I went, no, and I called, I get a hold of Andy. I'm like, I said, I swear to God, I think that's exactly what he said.
I mean,
there's nobody
again,
in there.
what everybody understands is these guys were on our posters on our walls, and now like they know Brent's name and they know Josh's name. They don't know who the hell I am, but I'm happy for my friends.
Oh
that
no,
get to-
they did, because I told them next time we're together that there needs to be some security to make sure that my
Listen.
beverages are not coming up missing.
restraining orders are only a piece of paper.
You know,
We're Andy and I are going to be in Nashville. We'll see if Josh is going to show or not.
the next show I'm at, I'm going to be going to the security guard. Like, you know who I am? Now listen, see this guy here? He's a fucker. So after Sentimental Street, we had some Breakout. Secret of My Success was next. And then after that was Rumors in the Air, which I got some really cool video and some cool photos from Eric's side. Probably my favorite photo of the night of Eric with the lighting and the city behind him.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
It took about 5 pictures of that to get like the one. There's a couple like this little things, like the mic. He'll move right when you take it, so then like the microphone's covering something. And,
Yeah.
But Rumors, how cool was that?
And what was
Yeah.
great too
I know.
was the stage was huge. They had that cool the monitor that like they would play parts of the music videos and stuff on, and different Night Ranger logos. They even pulled up the old Ranger logo, and stuff. So after Rumors, Night Ranger, the song, then High Enough, Goodbye, Don't Close Your Eyes, and Don't Tell Me You Love Me. During Goodbye, that was
You mean when you close your eyes?
during Goodbye.
I said, don't close your eyes.
Anyways, so during Goodbye, that is when they kind of had Jack talked a little bit about Danny, and they had his picture on the background. And one thing that was cool was they had this extra pyro, and there's some photos out there when how Goodbye ends, and it kind of kicks back up at the end and gets heavy. Brad was on the riser, and they had basically all this pyro shooting out behind him. Now that pyro, I forget what the name is. I was talking to Ed about it, but he's like, you could put your face in it and it won't burn you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And talked a little bit to Brad because I was getting some photos to him, and he mentioned that he would love to have that in every show. That
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. There's photos out there. Track them down.
That's how it showed up in my pictures, just a blob. I couldn't get it to focus good. And theirs was shooting up. Like when
There's-
Kiss uses, they call it a waterfall. It comes down.
There's people in third world nations that have better phones than you, Brent.
Yeah, but mine don't have the number either. So
Someone, I think it was a girl on the page, posted an awesome shot of Jack probably at the beginning of the first song, just
the silhouette,
like Jack's in the air, with the fire flame. It's such an awesome shot.
Yeah, that's so cool. Rock star poses, man.
Yeah.
And then we had When You Close Your Eyes, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Sister Christian, and Rock in America. I sent the link, I think, to Ed on Twitter. I only saw it on Twitter, but it was someone from across the river over in the flats videotaping the venue during Sister Christian. And so it was really neat to see the venue from a distance and hearing all the people singing and the lighting. You can't see the stage, but you can see all the crowd. And
that's cool.
I might have shared it on our Twitter page. So if you don't have Twitter, it's the best place for getting musician stuff and just getting everything Night Ranger, because it's so easy. All I got to do is hit retweet and it's done. Just little stuff just like that, to where that's not on Facebook, or I wouldn't know where to find it if it was. So definitely get Twitter if you're out there, and follow Fans of Motion on it. But yeah, I mean, by that time I was having what they say, a really good time, except for Andy taking my drinks.
It happens. I didn't pay for a drink all night. So which one of us is the cool
Real
cat?
winner.
every time Andy would open up a drink, oh yeah, I'm a lucky man. That's what I kept saying.
I just kept saying I want to dance.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good show, good set list. You know, visually it was great. It's a great venue.
Yeah.
And I got back to the hotel, went to the hotel bar, was having a drink with Chapin and Nadelman and some of the others, and Kelly walked in. I took a photo with those guys, with Kelly. And you know, the other guys walked in, you know, they probably got photos with them. I just took the photo with them with Kelly. And then me and Eric, they were shutting down the hotel bar, and so me and Eric walked over to a gas station, got some beer, and then we held court in my hotel room. We the Chapin brothers were there, and Lisa and Daryl, and Linda and Mary, and Mike was there, and yeah, so, and I was at that point really gone to where I didn't even think of, like, Andy, I know you're across the street. Like, I didn't touch my phone. Well, you know what? My phone was dead towards the end of the night. I charged it in the car on the way back. But when I know, that's all I did. I plugged it in, took it out. I didn't touch it for the rest of the night. And just, you know, at that point, you know, I was gonna say,
I wish I didn't even think about it, but I was staying in the hotel just across from where they all were, and I didn't even put it together that they're all probably over there. And I went back to my room, and I just like, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And then I see everybody posted all these pictures. I'm like, hey, we're hanging out with Jack. We're doing this. I'm like, son of a bitch.
You got your stoner snacks, you said.
Well,
I did. I went and got a bunch of cheesy poofs and Hostess cakes.
Well, I
told the lady, I'm not drunk or high. I'm just a fat man who loves sugar. She's like, I got it, man. It's cool.
The gas station was on your side of the streets where me and Eric went, and he got these.
That's Starbucks.
He got that little.
We went to get Starbucks in the morning, and then I was like, "Oh, it's right there in that plaza." And then now I'm like, "Holy shit, that's where Jack was."
Yeah. I
was like, "Damn it, I'm missing everything."
So, but yeah,
I was like the whole sun.
It's funny. I used to work in that area too. I know that so well. It's just like I'm 10 minutes from there. It's so crazy.
Yeah, so I missed out on that too.
I
missed out
on it, and I live here.
Yeah, well, Josh is on the phone with Mike Smith, and saying, you know, y'all come back here, fuckers. And I'm like, I'm going home. And
Brent
Mike
had to
Smith,
get.
look, he puts the phone. He goes, you're going home instead of going to party with Night Ranger. I'm like, I got a rental car. I got to have that turned in. And, I said, I'm going to be home at 4 o'clock at best. And he couldn't believe that I was leaving. But I had to get on the road, man.
Well, at least I invited you. That's nice to hear. Fuckers.
Get over here, fuckers.
But yeah, I mean, that's one thing about, it wasn't, like I said, I was having fun, but I mean, it was really low key. It's just Eric sat in there and talked to all of us, and just, he was really cool with everybody. And, I mean, what other bands do that, man? Eric's the best. So,
none more black.
He took pictures with, everybody there, and, so I think I ended up drinking some of Chapin's Labatt's. All I know is the beer that Eric got was just god awful. Little somethings or something like that. I forget what they're called. But
Little Kings?
No, I love Little Kings.
I was like, yeah. That's a staple in that area.
He made sure that Josh couldn't touch them.
Yeah.
He's like, going to buy something shitty so Josh won't drink them.
Well, it was like one of those lageritas or something, that he likes. And
a lager, so it's
not. No, it wasn't. Not like I love lagers, but I don't know what this was. Anyways, tastes like my asshole. But
whoa,
it was bad. I mean, it's bad when like someone's really drunk and they won't drink it.
Yeah, because usually once you've drank, you can pretty much drink anything almost.
Yeah.
When he said it was bad, I'm like, oh man, he was wasted too.
The only other beer I can really remember being that bad was I don't know, it's from somewhere in Europe. It's called Pilsner Your Quell or something like that. It comes in a green bottle, which I don't like green bottle beer that much anyways. But anyways, that was pretty bad. So there you go. But we had a good time. Rock and roll hoochie coo. I don't plan on repeating it in St. Louis.
Do we know if the concert and everything raised enough to get all the dogs that they were shooting for? Do we know that yet?
I don't know from Ed directly, but I think it did.
Okay, good.
There was some cool raffle, like that Lita Ford guitar just looked awesome. It's like a Warlock guitar anyway.
Yep.
Yeah,
they had some great stuff there.
All kinds of auction stuff, and the wheelbarrow for liquor. Like, I don't know who it was. It's one of you guys. I could just tell right on the top. I go right on the top. There's about $1,000 worth of liquor.
Really?
And that I couldn't see down below in that wheelbarrow. So I mean, so when someone said 2,000, a couple thousand worth of liquor, yeah, and it was a nice wheelbarrow. So
yeah.
I think Mike Smith said something about wanting that wheelbarrow only.
Somebody on the page asked if somebody got that guitar, and I said, well, if there was somebody from the page, we would probably heard about it by now,
Yeah.
Unless they're lurking.
Could be. I didn't bid on anything because I was like, I know I can't afford it when these prices get up there, so I'm not even going to do it.
I should have just put in numbers and put Brent's name.
God.
I admit, like, that's not my handwriting. Now you actually had to buy tickets, didn't you, for the raffle? Or was it? Oh, there's a raffle that wasn't for the
silent. Yeah,
there's a raffle, and then there was the auction, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't even know if they're raffling. I never saw that.
I didn't see that either.
But
I was in the auditorium or whatever it is, the pavilion when they did that auction live, and that was really something to watch because the guy who won it was way up in the nosebleeds, like the top of the venue, and he kept holding up a beer, and they'd bid, they're like, $900. He's like, yeah, and they're like, are you bidding or are you just like raising a toast? And he's like, I'm bidding, and the guy's like, and the guy was thinking he might be drunk. But he kept going. So it was him and then people down where the tables were. The tables were kind of full of business people, and they're bidding. And this guy up the top, yeah. And he won. He spent like $2,500 for this box. He didn't know what it was. They said, we can't tell you what's in it. It's worth at least $2,000 and maybe more. So he finally wins, and he comes down and holding his beer, pulling out his credit card, giving it to him up on the stage, and and basically what he won is a lot of like autographed drum heads and stuff from a bunch of different bands, Night Ranger included. Tickets, some meet and greets for bands that are coming into Cleveland area.
Wow.
Gift certificates to a bunch of like restaurants in the area. And it was the price was good, but then I said, oh, and this, and they pulled out it was $1,000 cash. It's like, and you get this too.
I thought there was 2,000 in there. You said.
No, they said the value of it is at least 2,000.
See, I thought there was 2,000 in there already.
But it was $1,000 in cash plus all the signed memorabilia, and I think there was like Browns
Free
memorabilia
food.
in there. I mean, it was crazy. The guy got his money's worth, but
like when they lost the championship game, that kind of memorabilia.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it was like signed stuff, jersey from. I think it was a signed Bernie Kosar and a signed
Brian Sipe.
So, Robyn,
might have been Sipe.
What did you think about meeting all three Fans in Motion podcast members at the same time?
At the same time, yes, because
Yeah.
I met you two and with Bash.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome. It was just awesome being able to talk some, and then it was with the interminglings with everybody else, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Josh is hilarious as always.
Well, and it's like, and I know that we made people nervous because usually, with the ladies and probably some of the guys, they only get to see all this sexiness, with us three on their videos, screens, and whatever.
It's tough.
And then
Not
when
easy.
you see the three of us in real life, it's like I saw a lot of ladies biting their bottom lip. Like, good, it's just like, listen, I'm just, I put my pants on one leg at a time. It's just after I get my pants on, I make gold record podcast.
Yeah, something like that. It's
No,
something
you guys
like
look
that.
the same. I think you guys look the same.
Oh,
No difference.
That
Brent's
is
Brent is tall. That much. You don't see it 'cause you're all sitting there.
that
He's
was
tall as
that was a behind the back insult. You're fucking with. What did I do to you, Robyn?
Okay, I am tall too, so I think Brent's the only one
No,
taller
no,
than
no.
me.
I'm saying that we all look the
Short.
same.
I have no problem with that. I'm short.
Well, I would like Andy's hair.
Styles.
So
Little.
Nice and spiky.
yeah.
Getting a haircut tomorrow. Saturday. I gotta look good for California. I'm going back to Cali.
All right, guys, this is our last podcast for a while.
You guys need a break, especially you, Josh. You haven't had a break, and you do all kinds of other.
Well, it wouldn't be that bad if polite society didn't frown upon cocaine.
Are you releasing this tomorrow?
I'm going to try, yeah.
So I got to have artwork tonight. See, I'm not even done then.
Just
I'm gonna make pancakes.
Just do just
It was actually an interview, and you talked about some kind of thing that. What was it? You would take out peanut butter from your fridge, and I was dying laughing.
Who, me?
Yeah, Kelly was laughing too. It was at the end of one of those.
Oh yeah. It happens. I mean,
He talked about a midnight snack, and it was just like something random and hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I am not ashamed to admit, I will sit with a jar of peanut butter and a spoon and just call it a day. I said I'm a fat man who loves sugar. I can't change what I am, Josh.
And then he moves his lips, and you hear Teresa go, Wilbur. Get
So I said I'm going to make pancakes for dinner tonight because when I'm left alone, I eat like a 15-year-old. I mean, it's corn dogs and slushies. Teresa's not home right now.
Corn dogs.
Pancakes.
Dogs and slushies.
That'd be the name of my autobiography. Andy, The Death of Andy. Corn dogs and slushies.
Where you get the slushies at?
So you go to Kroger, you buy them. They're in a little pack thing, and you put it in your freezer, and it gets the slushy consistency. Then you like a squeezy applesauce.
Just go to Sonic.
yeah.
Anyway,
Sonic's not open when I'm wanting my slushy.
Oh, there should be open till like 1 a.m. The drive-through.
And I gotta put pants on.
You don't.
I don't have pants on right now.
It's like that episode of
Right? Nope, you guys don't either, right? Or is it just me?
King of Queens when he went out to the drive-through because he got hungry and he went in through with no pants on, and then he got in then his car broke down and the thing and he's beating the thing up. Anyway, so Josh, you're going to St. Louis Saturday. Are you coming? Or is it off? Your Nashville, your Tennessee. That's not going to happen in October.
I don't know. I am taking my 4-year-old to Kiss. I am doing that. I'm getting a hotel and just trying that out with him. If I know me, I'll be there.
Okay, well, then because I know Andy and I are going to be in Nashville definitely on October 17th, or Dixon, Tennessee, that is. That is my birthday show. I accept 3XL shirts down to 2XL. You know, I am losing my girlish figure here, so you know, we'll meet at the merch booth there, I'm sure. It's going to be a good night because that band is going to play Call My Name that night.
You know,
I promise
you. Gotta come down.
They will be playing.
We'll get
I'm
you.
gonna walk back and say, "Listen here, fuckers.
Oh yeah.
I just drank Josh's bottom shelf shit, and you're playing Call My Name."
Put on Josh's tab.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll go Homer Simpson. Right, you got a butt that won't quit.
We'll get you a few snorts, and if you gotta drive home that night, we'll get you a few bumps, and that'll wake you right up. And
got to get up early in the morning and drive home back to Cincy, drop off my wife, then so I can go meet you at the Kiss concert in Dayton, Ohio.
yeah, we're definitely gonna need more cocaine.
And less
trousers.
And less trousers, yeah.
I mean,
Andy's
I'm
not
less-
wearing pants apparently, so
I'm not. I'm trouserless currently. So.
He doesn't have them on now, yeah. Why do you think his hands are down here, you know?
I just gotta watch when I stand up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm home alone. It's me and the dogs, and you know, my portal to hell. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, where are you putting that peanut butter?
Yeah,
Hey.
exactly.
Don't judge.
Wilbur!
Don't judge. You don't have 8 dogs, do you?
That's
And I am
code
in
word.
Tennessee.
The dog's
Different
like,
laws down here.
shit. I really like peanut butter though. But
Hey,
Andy,
20
Andy,
bucks,
you go
20
ahead
bucks.
and keep doing something blatantly homoerotic over there, as Norm Mcdonald would say.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Peanut butter there and the dogs.
In the meantime, for those that need their Night Ranger talk, there are 65 some episodes out there. Go back and dig some out and listen to them. They still good. I know. They still good.
Yeah.
Josh, I still say you and I call each other and do record 10 minutes of just calling each other dickhead back and forth.
Shut
Dickhead.
the fuck up. I don't want to talk to you unless.
Oh, you're gonna.
No.
I got your phone number.
No.
We'll just Skype him when he's trying to work from home. We'll be like,
Wrong
He
computer.
won't. He doesn't answer.
Wrong computer, guys.
we'll see.
But yeah,
Yeah. Don't-
you know,
we'll see.
we're gonna come back refreshed, renewed, couple different hosts with me and Robyn. It's gonna be great.
God, that's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure.
That'd be the new originals.
No, you
Yeah.
all the originals. No,
So
That's a Spinal Tap joke.
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've seen that.
You totally missed it.
We should
love
just
it.
do that.
Hello.
We should
Yeah.
watch movies and talk about them
hello,
in
Cleveland.
the interim.
What, do lives?
Just take
Whatever.
Just take a
Hosting.
jog.
There's the two we need to do right away.
I'll do Spinal
Stick
Tap
with
any day of
Mr.
the week.
Subject. You'll
Josh,
get
have you
ahead.
stopped recording yet?
Andy, take us out, motherfucker. We're at 153. No
Thanks for
one's listening at this
watching.
point.
Robyn's the only one still watching, and she has to because she's on the show with us currently. So thanks, Robyn, for
I
being
would,
part of the
yeah.
show and watching it till the end.
Thanks
Maybe
for
she'll
having
find
me
s-
on. It's so awesome to bullshit with you guys, and I'm excited for when you guys come back. And I
Yeah.
hope it's what you need, creatively, and rest. Take care of yourself.
Absolutely. So
And if you catch one of these, you're welcome.
humble brag. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching us. You can find us on all of your favorite podcast catchers, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcast. What am I missing, Josh? Stitcher. The main thing is go to YouTube. Watch the video podcast because that's the fun thing. You can see all this craziness. If you're watching it, you know that. But click like, and we want you to tell a friend. Everybody tell somebody, and we can build this community, and we'll come back, and hopefully we'll have some good interviews and more interesting hot Night Ranger talk.
Fun.
For Kelly Keegi coming up.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.